Hey, it's Mark. I'm going to do a video on a few stocks here. I found some interesting setups, so I wanted to do a video to talk about those. So let's look at the semiconductors first, because as we know, the semi trade's been leading the market with NVDA and a lot of other semi stocks. So the semiconductor index itself hasn't been that strong lately. It's kind of flat the past 3 days. Like we're right on that trend support level there. In the past it kind of teetered out there on that trend support, so we'll see. This is a really clear trend support that I drew up based on the most amount of touches, where it found support off of that. And that basically just shows you that the momentum is continuing. It's making higher highs, going up and up. So it seemed to have stalled out here, and the volume on that top day was a little ominous. But when you look at NVIDIA itself, it's kind of looking really different. Like they're just totally different now. Like the NVIDIA stock's been making new closing highs the past couple days, and we just had another high print today on the close. So it's kind of doing the opposite almost of semiconductors here the last 3 days. So looks like NVIDIA is still leading. So that's good to see. As far as what we might expect the Nasdaq to do. So the AI trade is still alive, and these data center stocks are still alive. Like the one I put on my Twitter account. A lot of these cloud, the cloud infrastructure plays have been down. A lot of these stocks have been down, even as NVIDIA is going up. But the one that's my favorite now is this IoT. The VRT is still one of my favorites. I like the VRT. It's still right there around the highs. It's still close to a breakout level, and it's really holding a trend support really well. It's like a lot of momentum, just like NVIDIA. But my other favorite one now is the IoT, because it's acting really well here off of this channel resistance. So what it did was it had this channel that was in for a while, and then it broke out over earnings, and then it just came back and did like a really rough retest of the previous levels there. So there may have actually been there was probably a lot more levels there that were acting as support now, because it's held really well off these levels here the past couple weeks. So the past week. So yeah, it's looking really, really good. I mean, the stock is up like 4% almost today, with most of their stocks flat, or down. So it's looking really bullish. So as I take a second look at this, it actually, that was one of the other major resistance levels there, where it did really well there. It just reclaimed, and it actually matches up better, because this uptrend here, it came down and it just started slowly uptrending. So it did a little triangle action there, and it looks really bullish. I mean, the sell volume looks okay on this flag. Like, it doesn't seem to be any unusually high sell volume. So it definitely looks like it could go a lot higher, or at least break out. And NTNX is always one of my favorites too, for data centers and cloud, and it actually really threatened to break out again today. It was up a lot, but pulled back. So my hunch is this one's probably going to go range bound. We've seen a lot of things go range bound here, like Meta's in a range now. It's just going sideways. It's got resistance there that it's got to deal with, and it's got support. So just a trading range. And IBM's kind of stuck now too. Like it's kind of slowly flagging, it looks like. And the Nasdaq is actually looking, pretty healthy here for more breakout, as it's pulling back to this former resistance, which looks like it could become support And these pullbacks are getting bought up. Like every time it goes down, we finish the day strong. So people are buying the dips here still. So I mean, it very well may come back into the trading range, but so far it's still looking like it can hold and break out pretty soon. And I was looking at ES. Yeah, I mean, ES is pretty much the same situation. You know, it's really close to breakout high still. I mean, it could pop any day. You know, we start to get that next push to the highs. And I saw one of my favorite, like pretty much my favorite Bitcoin miner or crypto miner was this CIFR, and this is still going, like it's still going strong. You know, it looks like it just had like a really slow squeeze. It's been going on, and it just tested some resistance there today, and that one's always at the highest short interest. It's a really high short. And then the Wolf was the other one. And I noticed one of the Bitcoin ETFs actually broke out today. Let's see if I remember the ticker on that one. Yeah, the BCHG broke out. It's actually a breakout today. It's kind of, I'm a little surprised to see that. You know, with most of the Bitcoin ETFs and not making new highs yet, but this one broke out really strong today, the BCHG, and it trades about 1 million shares a day. So, you know, it's kind of interesting. Could be because it's a cash one, so there could be something going on there. It could be a leading indicator that Bitcoin's going to break out too. And I do think Bitcoin has a good chance to break out again off this flag. I put that on my Twitter account too. My Twitter handle is just like my stock pursuit handle on YouTube. So I put this one out on Twitter too, the flag. Like I was watching the flag develop for a while here, and it's just, we've been consolidating, and yeah, we've been down and down, and then it looks like today was the day it really pushed, because that's the bull flag there. Well, actually a little bit yesterday too. The last trading day, yeah, it was up a good bit there too, but it finally confirmed a breakout today. That's why I posted that on my Twitter, because it did a triangle here, you know, in a more short-term chart. Like we got a little triangle action going there, so it pushed right off of that triangle, and it just happened to be a bull flag too. So that's looking really bullish, because it's above my last level again. And this level goes way back, you know, to the 2021. So that was my my level in November 2021. Is that last one, and we're breaking above that, folks. So you know, the Bitcoin trade is back on, it looks like. And the way the candles were moving today, like there's it looks like the normal kind of buy volume you see when it's, you know, when it's in buy mode. You know, there's a lot of flows coming in, looks like. So the thing to watch now is the Ethereum ETF, because they've been pushing off the Ethereum ETF, but like if Ethereum does get that ETF, you know, there's going to be another move in Ethereum, just like there was in Bitcoin off of the ETF. So let's look at Ethereum. Yeah, it's the same thing pretty much. You know, really nice flag breaking there. So, and we had a lot of times, you know, pullbacks, when you have a pullback like a flag, they go down to about halfway to like 60% of the, like a measured move from the gain. So, you know, that it pulled back kind of about in the sweet spot. You know, it found it right there. So it's about halfway, you know, from the low to the high down here back in February. So, and the Bitcoin looked like about the same too. So when you're trying to find, you know, flags where the price is gonna stop, you know, it's usually about halfway or a little higher than the where the midpoint was. And that's also like an Elliott wave thing. I'm not very well versed in Elliott wave, but that's one of the things, you know, is it just tends to be where the consolidation stops is about halfway. And so maybe that's Elliott wave, I don't know, but I think that is. But that's just one thing that I've found over the years. So yeah, it looks like it was less of a pullback for Bitcoin, but like there's a measured move from there. So well, yeah, there if we look at that move there from 52 to 72, it pulled back to like 61. So you know, it's not exactly midpoint, but you know, it's around half of around, you know, 3/4 or so. So that makes sense that it would stop there, you know, and become a flag now. And whether or not it breaks out immediately, we'll see, but it looks pretty good here. I think it's gonna test the highs again. And that's about it that I saw. So yeah, the MJ made a run back up to resistance of the old trend resistance, and it just failed out there because it was up so fast and it hit that old resistance level, you know, in the fours, around 4. So yeah, we'll see what that does. Looks like there's some sell volume, but I mean, the fact that it broke out again, that means it has momentum. So I wouldn't be surprised if it continues because it broke out actually a little bit over. It's a pretty crazy candle today, but we'll see. I mean, it's probably not some more pullback off of that candle. And Microsoft, I gotta check that because that one's the big one. So yeah, it looks a lot like the Nasdaq, you know, kind of normal pullback here. But the relative strength in NVIDIA is really impressive. Like, I'm still impressed by it last few days. So we got, yeah, it's still got a ways to go. It could come down a lot to like 415 before it has a retest of that former level. So I wouldn't be surprised if stuff goes sideways a little bit because, you know, the Nasdaq's up a lot. You know, a lot of times the second half of the year is kind of been slower. Like last year it was slower. But we'll see, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if we break out more and there's another, you know, 10% on the indices, or if we just go sideways. But last year they stopped about halfway through the year. You know, they kind of cool off on the risk on. So, but a lot of the sectors are looking good. You know, like in the housing stocks are good, and you know, industrials, even small caps are looking pretty good still. So I still think healthcare is going to be a long-term good performer too. You know, with the newest AI tech, the LLMs, there's going to be some really good drugs come out eventually, even better, you know, than what we've seen the past few years. So yeah, Hood's still one of my favorite stocks. I think Hood, I've been saying that for a long time. You know, they're probably going to get bought out someday. Yeah, so that's about it. Yeah, so that's what I saw today that really caught my eye, those stocks. And I still got the Valley Bank puts for their earnings in a couple months. And my energy trade that I picked, the energy pick, was still going. The EGY was one of them because it just had really good relative strength back in the beginning of the month, and it's just been a beast. So, but I'm still watching on crude oil, so it's been kind of slow. You know, it looks like could be a bull flag there. It may do like a rough kind of retest on that level there, because I found that level goes back. So it's kind of a rough level, so maybe that, yeah, it could be a little bit lower. So it's still looking pretty bullish for a flag there. You know, it could be a flag, a bull flag. I mean, look at the momentum's actually picked up a little bit, so this trend line isn't quite doing it justice anymore. So yeah, I retested there. So I think this is the trend line now. So it's looking really bullish still. And you look at the uptrends, still staying consistent on crude oil. So I wouldn't be surprised if it starts going, if it be able to break out on that again too, as long as it holds around 82. So yeah, that's it. So I'll call it a wrap, and I'll catch you next time.